Welcome back to the channel. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Here we have another crazy story. Another crazy story. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jeezy. Imagine that. Not only do they got him in a bad situation.
Two members of a Brooklyn-based gang called the Real Right Gang have each been sentenced to more than a decade in prison. They are pictured here. Samaj Smith, also known as Bam Bam.
Real right gang. I'm real right. Imagine that. He probably would have been better off if he was left. Because, you know, Jeezy Mula right now, he's in an unfortunate situation. They got him. They got him in an unfortunate situation. In fact, they said the prosecutors, not only do they want to, they basically want him out of here. They say he's a bad guy. They say he's a bad guy.
Rights Sport was sentenced to 132 months in prison for racketeering, conspiracy, and brandishing a gun in furtherance of a crime of violence. We're told the leader of the gang, Dejan McBean, or Jeezy Mula, and member Mark Waiters, also known as Telly, were also sentenced to 150 months and 149 months, respectively, last month. We're told members of the Real Right Gang have committed murder, assault, bank fraud, wire fraud, and more between 2015 and 2018.
Say that one more time. Hold on.
Imagine that. Get right. I mean, real right. You know what I mean? 100 and something months seems like so long. Seems like so long. It really is, though. Not anymore. It's so short now. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Imagine that. I'm quite certain Jeezy Mula wasn't expecting this right here. That he'd be placed in this position that he's in right now. But he's a notorious trigger puller. Not only that, you know, he's known to send individuals out to pull triggers for him. Imagine that. So that's what's going on right now, this young man. They got him. They got him. Going to give him the death penalty. Imagine that. I mean, what's the chance of him beating this case? Don't forget, these individuals, they're so litty. They're so litty. They really are. Don't forget, he wish he had the 100.
And two members of a Brooklyn-based gang called the Real Right Gang have each been sentenced to more than a decade in prison. They are pictured here. Samaj Smith, also known as Bam Bam, and Real Right Sport was sentenced to 132 months in
Bam Bam. Real life sport. Imagine that. When will these criminals learn? They think it's a gang. Maybe it is cool. Imagine that. Imagine it's cool to be a gang member. It's just the time that comes along with it that's not cool. Imagine that. I never thought about that.
For racketeering, conspiracy, and brandishing a gun in furtherance of a crime of violence. We're told the leader.
So that's what Jeezy was arrested for. A little petty crimes in his mind. They say he was locked up. He was sentenced to 12 years. Instead of sitting down like a good boy, he decided to commit more crimes from behind the bars. Don't forget, all phone calls are recorded. Imagine that. Imagine these criminals think they're locked up and they can do whatever they want to do on the phones and not get caught. If he never picked up that phone call and made that phone call, he'd probably be home in about, I don't know, 2-3 years. But now, not only is he never coming home, they said they want him off the earth. Imagine that. It's a terrible thing.
The gang, Dejan McBean, or Jeezy Mula, and member Mark Waiters, also known as Telly, were also sentenced to 150 months and 149 months, respectively, last month. We're told members of the Real Right Gang have committed murder, assault, bank fraud, wire fraud, and more between 2015.
And they did it the really right way. Imagine that. They thought they was committing crimes the right way. These unproductive criminals, they didn't want to get a job. They wanted the money. They want to drive around in fancy, expensive vehicles. They want to show females, you know what, I got it. I know I can make crimes. Was it worth it? Maybe. Is it worth it? No. Man. They say he might have to serve the death. I mean, you know what they're looking for. Real right. Unbelievable.
And 28.
Okay. Let me read this article for you now, man. Check
Criminals.
this out. It says, leader and two members of Brooklyn-based Real Right gang each sentenced to more than a decade in prison. Let me get to the,
Real right.
all right, it says, Bam Bam and Real Right, also known as Bam Bam and Real Right Sport, was sentenced to 132 months in prison for racketeering, conspiracy, and brandishing a firearm and furtherance of a crime of violence.
These individuals thinking a firearm is a joke. They think because they have one, they feel powerful. Not realizing that comes with a lot of jail time. Imagine that. Imagine wanting to play around with a firearm and not expect to go to jail behind it.
Co-defendant DeJean McBean, also known as Jeezy Mula, who was the leader of Real Right, and Real Right member Mark Waiters, also known as Telly, was sentenced to terms of 150 months and 149 months. Well,
I mean, a name like that, it's fair to say you might tell somebody. Imagine that. But Jeezy Mula doesn't have that luxury of telling anybody. They said if he goes down, the prosecutors are seeking a death penalty. I feel bad for this young man, and I never know. Only thing I do know, he wanted to be a gang member, a blood gang member. Who told him was cool? I don't know. He's probably watching too much TV, most likely. Watching too much rap music. I don't know. I'm just talking. So that's what's going on with this young man right here. Yesterday, 2 days ago, he didn't have this issue. But now he has this issue. Will he beat it? I don't know. Matter of fact, I don't know a lot of things. The only thing I do know is crime and pay. But I see them do it, though. I see these gang members play with guns. And when it's time for them to go to jail, they start crying.